I was employee number 3. At 19, I was employee number 3 at a fast growth, or what was going to become a fast growth company. And within 2 years, we went from 0, standing start, to 6 million and about 60 employees. And it was just, went like this. And it gave me this incredible experience of what a fast growth company is like. And because one of the roles in that company was being on the phones making sales, I knew the importance of being able to refer to someone who is a higher authority. So you wanted to be, when you're talking to someone on the phone, you want to be able to talk about someone else's story, and especially as a 19, 20-year-old, you wanted to be able to say, oh, let me tell you about this person's story who's our main person. And I would always be talking about the key person of influence in that business. And one of the reasons that business took off is because we had lots of key people of influence in it, people who'd written books and all that sort of stuff. When I went off and launched my own business, I had a fight with my boss and went and quit and went in competition with him at 22, as 22-year-olds tend to do. I actually knew that at 22 no one would take me seriously, so I went and found this guy who was 66, and he'd written a very, very well-read blog. It wasn't a book, but he was a blogger. He was extremely well-respected in the industry. When he would speak on stage, hundreds of people would turn up to see him speak. And I did a deal where I offered him 5% of the revenue in my business. So every sale he would get 5%. And he did the deal with us, and it was just wonderful because I put together a team of 4 people, and then we got this guy who was the face of the company but wasn't even an owner in the company, just got 5% of every sale. And it was so great because as soon as we got on the phones and started talking about the fact that this person was the leader of the bit, or the person that they would be associated with, the business just came flooding in, and it didn't cost anything because it pushed the prices up by more than 5%, and it pushed the volumes through the roof. So it was just a win-win value creation deal all around. And that business did 1.3 million in its first year with 400,000 profit, and it went to 11 million in the 2 years after that. So it was a very fast growth. And then when I went and came to the UK, I'd never been above the equator, and I had no experience in the UK, and I went and identified the dragons on Dragon's Den, got in touch with them and set up a series of events with dragons on Dragon's Den in London. Right, so we had this series of events that we ran, and suddenly I'm on stage with all the dragons, and people are just like, well, this guy's really just popped out of nowhere. And then I brought other key people of influence, and I was making money as a promoter who was working with people on the pedestal, and I was really putting them on the pedestal because that's how I knew could make the money. And then in the global financial crisis, I watched as all the money and all the business moved to the key people of influence, and they cut everyone else out of the supply chain, including me. And my business went from 4 million to 400,000 in 1 year in revenue. And I went, that sucks. I need to be that guy. I need to write the book. I need to have the profile. I don't want to get cut out of the supply chain ever again. I want to be the key person of influence. So I thought, what's the fastest way to position yourself as a key person of influence? Write the book about it, right? Ownership of the niche. So that was actually the genesis of how that happened.